Our speaker this morning is Araiya Casriel. Araiya is a 4-year boarding student from Highlands, New Jersey, and a 2-year prefect in Rome. She's the co-president of the Ellis Theater Guild and the proud roommate of Morgan McMahon. Araiya.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question that I'd like to pose to you all. What do you think our Hill legacy will be? We all have maybe different ideas of how we want to be remembered by each other, but what will be the lasting impression that our 4 forms make on the school? I'd like to share a quote from Robert Jordan's Eye of the World. "The wheel of time turns, and ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend. Legend fades to myth, and even myth is long forgotten when the age that gave it birth comes again." After the 6th form graduates in May, our pictures on the walls will be replaced by photos of the class of 2025, and so on. The rest of the student body will graduate in your turn in no time at all, and soon enough, no student here will remember us. There will be other prefects and captains and club leaders and writing fellows and tour guides and school presidents. Our age will pass, and a new age will rise. This environment is calibrated specifically for us to outgrow it, and it can sometimes feel difficult to carve something permanent into the walls while we are fast-tracked into becoming the educated youths that will hopefully one day change the world. But old must make way for the new, and after all, what's the point of high school that nobody graduates? What we have done in our time here that's made a permanent mark on the school is different for everyone. For some, it's a broken athletic record. For others, it may be a shiny new rule in the Hill School handbook. As for myself, I struggle to think of one singular outstanding thing I've done here to be remembered by. If you zoom out on the student body, you'll notice that none of us are that different. We're all just teenagers trying to make our way here. We've had incredibly varied journeys to get here, but we all have at least one major life experience in common. And I'd say that this particular thing has been pretty influential in my life for the last few years, and I bet that most of you would agree. Hill has changed us, and it's only fair that we change Hill back. Perhaps instead of asking what I think our legacy will be, I should give us more agency in the answer. And so, I rephrase my question. Hill students, what do we want our legacy to be? On the school? On the world? Is our legacy already set? Out of our control? Or how can we shape it? I think an answer, certainly not the only, but one answer to these questions, at least as far as Hill is concerned, lies in challenging the premise of this last question itself. What I mean to say is that we do not shape our legacy by any purposeful action. Instead, it is all of our actions over the course of our entire existence here that color our experience and the experiences of those around us. Legacy is not the result of one incredible action. Perhaps someone will be remembered for one specific act they committed, but after the students who knew them graduate, that memory will fade from this place, unless, of course, Mr. Jeffries sees fit to rediscover it one day. Either way, what one person is remembered for is not the same as the impact they've had on their, or in this case, our community. I'd like you all to think back to your first day on campus. Who were the first people you spoke to? Now, for many of us, I assume you're currently thinking about your tour guides and your admissions officer who interviewed you. My first impression of Hill was of a community where the students helped and supported one another, because that is what my tour guide did for me the first time I stepped on campus. She didn't know whether I would get in or whether I'd even apply, but she took the opportunity to give me not just information, but advice on how to succeed here. That first impression was very important for me and my perception of Hill. However, what winds up being just as, if not more, influential is the constant reinforcement of our shared values. A first impression alone cannot define 4 years spent at any institution. In 1675, Sir Isaac Newton wrote, "If I have seen further, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants." I'm sure many of you recall what Mr. Baum and Ms. McConney told us about the purpose of leadership positions, and if you don't, well, I'll remind you. The reason we take on these roles is to pass on our knowledge and experience. Although in the grand scheme of things, we students are rather short on life experience so far. What we are experienced in is the machinations of the school. It is our job to share every single bit of our knowledge that could potentially make the day-to-day easier for someone else. Leadership is about the voices we lift up alongside our own, not just the one currently speaking in front of the crowd. I hope that after our 4 classes are gone, the community that we've all had a hand in stewarding will continue to be a welcoming and supportive group. Although we cannot directly influence what might happen long after we all graduate, we can ease the path for what we'd like to happen by demonstrating it ourselves, as our actions will inform the actions of the next generation of Hill students. It is the simple deeds that make you invaluable in a community such as ours, where no one person is responsible for our legacy, but all contribute to it. By becoming the person who keeps a spot open at their dinner table for anyone who's looking for a seat, or tutors their roommate in a shared class, or helps a hallmate move their furniture every time they decide they need it changed, you're creating positive experiences for yourself and your classmates. Our time at Hill is what we make of it, and I think it's important to remind ourselves that we are working towards a common goal. We all want to ensure that everyone has a positive experience here, yes? That's the goal of our many mentorship roles on campus, after all. So why shouldn't we consciously and collectively work towards helping each other achieve that? I don't need to do something outstanding to have a worthwhile legacy here. We don't all need to be the winner of everything. I mean, that'd be impossible. Our legacy isn't based on our personal wins. Our legacy is the prefectee who applies to be a prefect in the spring. Our legacy is the team captains we trained, and the person taking over the club we created, and the student we helped with their essay, and the next presidents that we elect together. Our legacy is the environment we've contributed to that has helped our peers grow alongside us. Our legacy, sixth formers, is the current fifth form, and yours is the fourth form, and so on. Our legacy is the class of 8th graders currently convincing their parents to let them apply to Hill. And as we move on from this place and our influence expands, so will our legacy. What can we do? Well, we can continue to represent the school and what we've learned here. We're a part of this community for life, and the stewardship of our Hill ties will be our legacy. But for now, it is our task to build them, not only with the members of our own form, but with all the classes who came before and all those to follow. We cannot rely on myths, stories, and memories to carry out our legacy. Like Isaac Newton, we've all gotten to where we are by standing on the shoulders of giants. Now that we're here, what we can do is look back to where we climbed and pull someone else up to stand on our shoulders. Our legacy is what we pass on. Thank you.